Have you ever replayed the same conversation, searching for an answer that never came? Maybe someone walked away without an explanation. Maybe trust was broken without warning. Or maybe life simply changed and never gave you the ending you were hoping for. You kept telling yourself, if I could just get one answer, I'd finally move on. But what if the answer you've been waiting for is the very thing keeping you trapped? You'll never heal while waiting for closure. Most people believe healing begins after they receive an apology, an explanation, or a final conversation. But that's rarely how real healing works. Sometimes the door never closes from the outside. You have to be the one who walks away from it. Today, we're going to explore why you'll never heal while waiting for closure, and how choosing acceptance over answers can bring emotional healing, inner peace, and the freedom to finally move forward. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, if they would just explain why? It feels reasonable. After all, understanding brings comfort. But here's the hidden cost. The more your healing depends on someone else's actions, the less control you have over your own life. You begin living emotionally on someone else's schedule, waiting for a message, waiting for an apology, waiting for acknowledgement. Days become weeks, weeks become years. Without realizing it, you've handed someone else the key to your peace. Real healing begins the moment you decide your future no longer depends on their response. Because peace isn't something another person gives you. It's something you slowly rebuild within yourself. The human brain dislikes unfinished stories. It wants certainty. It wants explanations. That's why you replay old moments over and over. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I could have changed the outcome. But every replay strengthens the emotional pathway. Not because you're finding answers, but because you're rehearsing pain. Do you ever wonder why this keeps happening to you? It's because the brain often mistakes repetition for resolution. It doesn't realize it's keeping the wound open. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop asking questions that no longer have useful answers. This is one of life's hardest truths. Not every chapter ends neatly. Sometimes people leave without honesty. Sometimes opportunities disappear without explanation. Sometimes trust breaks without warning. Waiting forever for perfect closure only delays your own growth. Choosing closure doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means accepting that not every question will be answered. Acceptance isn't approval. It's permission to stop carrying what you cannot change. That's where emotional healing quietly begins. Many people believe, once I understand everything, I'll finally feel better. But think about your own life. Have you ever fully understood something painful and still carried the hurt? Knowledge doesn't automatically create peace. Peace comes from acceptance. You don't always need more information. Sometimes you simply need fewer arguments with reality. The mind keeps asking, why? Healing gently begins asking, what now? That single question changes everything. This can be painful to accept. The person you're hoping will bring closure may still be struggling with their own fears, pride, or emotional limitations. Some people cannot give what they never learned to carry themselves. Waiting for emotional maturity from someone who isn't ready only postpones your own. You don't need another person's transformation to begin your own. Their journey belongs to them. Yours belongs to you. And that's where your energy deserves to stay. Time doesn't pause because your heart does. Life keeps unfolding. New opportunities appear. New friendships develop. New lessons arrive. But when your attention stays fixed on the past, you often miss what's quietly growing in the present. Inner peace isn't found by staring at closed doors. It's found by noticing the open ones you've been walking past. Healing isn't forgetting. It's becoming present enough to live again. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean saying what happened was acceptable. It doesn't erase accountability. And it certainly doesn't require rebuilding trust where trust has been broken. Forgiveness is something else. It's releasing the emotional grip that yesterday still has on today. Not because they earned it, but because your peace matters too much to remain chained to yesterday forever. That quiet release creates space for gratitude, hope, and emotional strength. Imagine carrying a heavy suitcase everywhere. After a while, you stop noticing the weight, but it's still slowing you down. Waiting for closure can become like that suitcase. You've carried it for so long, feels normal, yet every step becomes harder than it needs to be. The beautiful truth is this: you don't need permission to move forward. You don't need every answer. You don't need every apology. You only need the courage to take the next step anyway. Because life doesn't begin after perfect closure. It begins after quiet acceptance. If there's one truth I hope stays with you today, it's this: you'll never heal while waiting for closure. Real healing doesn't begin when someone finally says the right words. It begins when you stop allowing unanswered questions to define your future. Choose emotional healing over endless replay. Choose inner peace over constant explanation. Choose acceptance over waiting. And trust that even when life leaves some pages unfinished, you can still write a beautiful next chapter. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Share your thoughts below. How are you healing today? And if this message brought you peace, subscribe to Motivation and Healing for more videos that strengthen your mind, restore your heart, and remind you that your future is never limited by what someone else failed to give you.